Hey friends, welcome to Decoding Cosmos by PH 2.0. Our today's topic of discussion is time travel paradoxes. So what's basically a paradox? Paradox is a statement that comes from the acceptable or validable region of the reasoning but leads to an self-contradictory or logically unacceptable conclusion. In the simple language, in a paradox, two contradictory statements exist at the same time. Earlier, I have published a video on the time travel theories, so I would highly suggest you to first watch the videos on the theories to understand the concept more clearly. We will now focus on the time travel paradoxes. As explained in the earlier video, the concept of the time travel paradox is caused by a careless time travel, means by altering a past or disturbing the usual sequence of the causation. Time travel paradoxes occur. Let's clear it by taking an example. Suppose you have a time machine and you can travel in the past. You intend to kill the famous personality by going into the past. You take a time machine and go to the past and kill the famous persona you intend to. As a safe play, you kill that personality before becoming famous. But here comes the twist. The question arises that how the person will be shortlisted as the target in the famous personality list you want to kill, because that person was killed by you before becoming famous. And this arises one more question, that when he would never be in your target list, how would you kill him before becoming famous? After this, again the first question arises ad infinitum. Well, that's what a paradox is. Moving further to the types of the paradox, basically there are three categories of the paradoxes in the time travel: the causal loops, the grandfather paradox, and the last category is the Fermi paradox. Let's now see the first category, that is the causal loop. The causal loop is a paradox in the time travel in which the event in the future is caused by the event in the past, which in turn is caused by the future event. Well, this might sound a little confusing, but now explaining in detail, the causal loop paradox is a paradox in which the future event is caused due to the past event, but then the object associated with the future event travels in the past in the time and becomes the cause of the past event. To be more precise, it's the same past event which is the cause of the future event, and this causes causal loop, an unending loop in which both the events exist in the space-time but their origins is unknown. Explaining this statement as the future event is caused due to the past event, but past event is caused solely due to the future event. Here the origin of the events is unknown. Moving to the next category in the list is the grandfather paradox, also known as the consistency paradox. This paradox occurs when the past is changed in such a way that it creates a contradiction in the present. The statement dedicated to this is a time traveler can do anything that did happen but can't do anything that didn't happen. Let's clear this by taking an example. Suppose you travel to the past by the time machine and kill your grandfather before his marriage when he was young, and boom, you just messed up your existence. Let's be more precise. When you kill your grandfather before your father was born, so by killing him, you will prevent your father's birth and thus preventing birth of yourself. This is what we call as grandfather paradox. And another example of the grandfather paradox is Polchinski's paradox. Moving further, the next category is the famous Fermi paradox. According to this paradox, the time travelers and the concept of the time travel doesn't exist at all. It proposes this by asking a question: if time travel were possible, where are all the tourists from the future? The famous physicist Sir Stephen Hawking threw a champagne party for the time traveler tourists, which was held in 2009, and invitations were sent after the party was over. Well, this can be an example of the Fermi paradox, where he questions if the time travel is really possible, where are the tourists from the future? Moving further, let's see some more types of the time travel paradoxes. The next in the list is the bootstrap paradox. This paradox states that you send an object to your past self, but there arises a question that where did the object came from, because you only have that object in the future for sending to your past self, because in the past you received it from your future self. So what's in this is that the object or say information has no origin of existence but yet still exists. This paradox can be cleared by taking an example. Suppose you worked hard and built a time machine and you decided to go to the past and reveal the secret of the time machine to your past self. Your past self will create a time machine from the given formula, and he will do the same thing of revealing the secret of the time machine by traveling to the past. The question arises that from where did the secret of building the time machine came from? So this is called as bootstrap paradox. The last type is known as Hitler's murder paradox. It's very similar to the first example I took. In this paradox, suppose you make a time machine and target Hitler as a famous personality to kill. You travel in the time and kill him before he becomes famous. But here a question arises that if you kill Hitler before becoming famous, how would you target him as a famous personality to kill? So that's what Hitler murder paradox states. Alright guys, these were some categories and some types of the time travel paradoxes. Hope you guys understood this topic in the time travel series. Please subscribe to our channel Decoding Cosmos by PH 2.0 for latest updates, and please do like the video if you understood the topic. Also comment on the topic you want to be decoded. Till then, stay tuned, love physics, goodbye.